Today we're speaking with famous trial lawyer Gerard Fox, counsel to both Hollywood stars and corporate America. Mr. Fox has founded the fast-growing, bi-coastal, multi-service law firm Gerard Fox Law that exemplifies top-to-bottom diversity and works toward cherished relationships among their attorneys and clients. Let's meet Gerard Fox. Hello, Gerard, and thanks for coming in.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Please sit down. Gerard, what an impressive firm and practice you've put together. What has been the secret to your success as a trial lawyer, given that you have won 38 jury trials and not lost one?
Well, I try complex cases, copyright cases, patent cases, corporate control cases, cases where there's millions, tens of millions, billions of dollars. And I think the key to winning all these jury trials is to simplify the issues, use common sense. Trial lawyers are very smart people, and sometimes they want to exhibit and flash their brilliance, and it complicates the trial and it goes over the jurors' heads. So I always want to make sure there's a theme. So if I speak plainly, simply, with some honesty is very important, so that the jury understands that your credibility is something they can invest in. If you kind of wrap that all together, which might sound simple on the surface, but a lot of trial lawyers forget many of those things, then you usually are successful in trial.
Well, give us a couple of examples. Share with us a couple of trial war stories that you find interesting.
So when I tried the very famous case where the Isley Brothers sued Michael Bolton and Andy Goldmark for infringing their song Love is a Wonderful Thing, I had seen their expert first before the trial in a deposition. He was incredibly credentialed, and he had charts and graphs, and spoke in a very complicated manner. And I realized that would go over the juror's head. So I went out looking for somebody who was simpler. And I went to community colleges to look at people who gave music classes, taught them. And I found a guy who had a keyboard, and he was incredibly dynamic but simple and easy to understand. And I brought him into that trial, and when I won the trial, and we won millions of dollars, and I interviewed the jury, they explained that they found my expert easier to follow. Now, I also had a case where a production company invested millions of dollars in a film, and the producer who was supposed to film this movie never did. He just took the money and ran. So we went to ITC Polygram, where my clients met that producer, and they said, we don't have anything to do with him. You know, he was here, but he wasn't part of our company. So we put on evidence that there were casting calls that were held in connection with this film right outside the CEO's office. And my clients had met the CEO, and he had wined and dined them. And the CEO said, I didn't even know those casting calls were taking place. But they had been going on for days, from the morning till the end of the day. And so we asked the CEO, how did you not see that when you had to pass through your office to get to the elevators? The conference room where the casting calls were right there. And he said, I took the stairs. Well, we went and got the plans for the building, and we found out that it was there's a fire alarm attached to that door, and it would go off if you opened it. It was an emergency fire exit. And once we showed that to the jury, they realized, well, this person wasn't telling the truth. So when I gave a closing argument, I talked about my son, who had eaten some Oreo cookies, and he had them all over his face. And I asked him, son, did you eat those Oreo cookies? And he said, no, Dad. And of course you could see he was lying because he had the Oreo cookies all over his face. And I stressed to the jury that that's okay with a child because you're teaching them to tell the truth. But for an executive, they should already know that. That was a powerful piece of testimony and closing argument, because the jury awarded tens of millions of dollars in punitive damages. And those 2 points were cited by the jurors in interviews after the trial.
What a feeling that must have been for you when you had that Eureka moment, when you discovered that he had to go by that office, had to see all the casting going on, that if he had taken that fire escape or the stairs or whatever, it would have set off alarms over the building. You probably knew right at that point that you had a pretty good shot that this was going to go your way.
Absolutely. In fact, many people think of Perry Mason or television shows that are about the law, and you see these glamorous moments, but it's really in the moments that are not so glamorous that you win your trial well before the trial ever starts. It's when you say, hey, I heard him testify that he went out the fire exit. Let's get the plans and look at them. You're sitting in your office and the plans come and they're boring. You have to pour through them and figure things out. And yes, you have that Eureka moment, but it comes through preparation and hard work.
That's right, good point. Now, I understand that you started a bi-coastal law firm by using a board of advisors from corporate America, and that this firm has really taken off. What are your firm's guiding principles?
Yes, my mother had been very successful in business and used large law firms and was very unhappy with them. And so she had suggested I hire a board of advisors, people who had run companies, and have them advise me as to how to build a new big law firm to stand up next to big law. And after 9 months of discussions and reading articles, we came up with the following principles. Top law firms are run principally by white males. Today's corporations and tomorrow's corporations want diversity. True diversity, not token diversity, top to bottom diversity. Let's see your executive board, and let's see an Indian on it. Let's see a person who's African American and a couple women who've had children. The second thing is that law firms are inherently inefficient. They reward associates for billing the most hours. Shouldn't the reward be for being the most efficient associate or the associate who has the most impact? So we don't reward billable hours, we reward efficiency and impact. Plus, we don't bill our clients for everything. And we try to introduce them to other clients so that they can have added value to their business without charging or taking a percentage of that. And there's a lot of turnover in big law firms. Partners with business are like free agents now in sports, and they come and go. You don't know what firm they're at anymore. And young associates don't like their job because the corporate culture is lousy. So we had to study the corporate culture of LinkedIn and Yahoo and Netflix and change the way that we approach our associates. We've brought in nutritionalists, we've brought in ergonomic instructors, yoga instructors, life balance instructors, efficiency and impact instructors. We listen to them. We have virtually no turnover. Our associates are happy. You can hear them sometimes singing in the hallway. We have clients who are happy, and we are incredibly diverse, top to bottom. Very proud of our firm, and this is going to be the type of firm that all of the companies going forward in this world economy that's largely flat are going to look to hire. Not these law firms that are charging you ridiculous rates, that have unhappy associates, where you call today, you're talking to Bob, and tomorrow it's Susan.
Yeah, what a wonderful thing. And just having those happy associates around, that positive vibe, that's got to be nice for your clients as they come in and they got to deal with the various people with the firm. When they sense everyone is on the same page, they're satisfied, they're happy. I mean, that's going to make their situation a little nicer too for your clients.
I had a general counsel who's African American who came in and he took a moment in my conference room. He just took a deep breath. And he said, you know what? As a person of color, I've never walked into any large law firm and felt comfortable. In your firm, I don't even know who the majority is, but I feel so at home here. And your lawyers are full of cheer and laughter. And I've never, ever sensed that in a law firm. And I know that if they're happy, they're going to be doing good work on my case.
Yeah, that's exactly it. In almost all fields, if you're happy, if you're enthusiastic, and you're in business, there's a much better chance that you really are going to be providing that good result. You want it, you're passionate about it, and really like that approach. Well, why is the full top to bottom diversity so important to your firm?
Well, top to bottom diversity is not just important to our firm, it's important to our country and our world. Token diversity sets any type of a program that's supposed to be progressive in thought, where an individual isn't judged on their color, their creed, their religion, their sexual orientation. To judge somebody on any of those aspects is not progressive, it's medieval. So if you want to be a progressive society or a progressive law firm, you have to judge people, are they a good lawyer, are they a good team player, are they a good person? We have a lawyer from Israel who actually was in the army in Israel, and we have a lawyer from Iran. They have different views and beliefs. They both came in on different days and shared their culture with us, and they both treat each other incredibly well. So the top to bottom diversity, top to bottom means that you see that diversity not just at the lower levels, not just in a token manner, but throughout the firm. I have two partners who are Latino women, a woman from France. I just hired a partner who is a very prominent Indian attorney, and we have African American attorneys. We have attorneys that speak 32 languages in our firm. That's top to bottom diversity, but really what that points up is progressive thinking, not medieval thinking. And it's true. When a law firm puts up a poster and says, we're diverse, or says it on their website, but they feature only white people who are, whose articles or whose faces or whose brand, if you will, are being featured, that's disingenuous. Top to bottom diversity takes an open mind, and it takes a true commitment to that principle.
Well, what value does your law firm add to the careers and balance sheets of its clients?
Well, that is very important to us. Since we judge ourselves by whether we're adding value to the bottom line, the introductions of the clients to each other, listening when we're handling a case or closing a deal, listening to them. Let's say that I just actually reached out to a company. They need to bring in a minority partner and they need some funding. I have another client who provides the funding. I'm not just hooking up a hose to both firms and trying to pull out the fees I need. I'm thinking the two of them should meet each other, and I introduce them. And that funding helped that business grow. Now, if I'm an investment banker, I'd take a fee, but I didn't take any fee. I was just happy to see both businesses do so well. Yes, they'll use us for litigation, for patent matters, for corporate matters, but the reality is they know that we will be adding value in ways that we don't charge for. We're a good business partner.
Well, it's a very impressive, not only your philosophy, well, the results are there in just the expansion of your practice, the success of your practice. Your contact information is up on the screen, and boy, there's really no reason not to, if you need an attorney, no reason not to contact your firm. Thank you very much, Gerard. You're doing great work, and I sure appreciate you coming in.
Oh, thank you.